On September 4th, 2013, mark it down, I had an insightful chat with Shirley Roberts, a Toronto research consultant who wasn't just looking at the looming crisis of elder care. She had spent 7 years as primary caregiver for her aging mother. The first year and a half was chaotic, but the learning curve was so helpful, this businesswoman decided to share the wealth and honor her mom in the process. Here it is, Doris Inc. It's a business approach to caring for your elderly parents. The honors BA from Ivy was a big help, Shirley.
Oh, absolutely. In
plotting a course that, well, so many people are dealing with. I think since you have been in the building, I don't know how many hours you've been here, but you have been counseling, haven't you?
Oh, everybody around me, all your staff.
Well, when you were here last time, and that's the reason I asked you to mark down the date, because we covered so much ground, so much helpful ground, so that you can go back to September 4th, 2013, watch that interview at 100huntley.com. But we want to just quickly recap 4 key areas that we just need to have in our face, most of us, and then we're going to zero in on the 4th one. So let's take a look. Graphically, we have this for you. Planning for the stages of decline. You know, just looking at what these stages are was somewhat disturbing, but also helpful, Shirley.
Yes, we all need to know that it's inevitable that we will decline, our health will decline, and we will die. And we can't get away from that, unfortunately. So we better plan for the care that's needed at each stage.
And then initiating family planning conversations. Well, you've heard the confessions here already today.
Yes.
That is not easy. It's not always welcomed.
It's not.
Your mom invited you to come and help.
Yes, she did, but oftentimes children don't want to deal with the fact that their parents are dying, that their health is declining and they will eventually die. They don't want to fess up to that. And the seniors don't want to lose their independence. Mm-hmm. And so there's this better to just avoid the topic, and that's what's happening all across this country.
But you said you promised you would give us a little helpful hint as to how to broach that huge divide.
Yes, we need to take a leadership role as children of parents, and we have to break the ice. It's far better to have these conversations when seniors are in their 60s or 70s, not waiting until they're ill. Because when we wait until they're ill, they become in denial of their health issues, and they are fearful of losing control over their life.
So it's really hard to take care of the essential business.
Everybody's irrational and emotional when they're ill. Best to lay out the ground rule, have these discussions early.
Here's a disturbing stat from your book. 1/3 of the population will deal with dementia after 85.
Yes.
And we're all living longer.
Yes.
So we need to get on this.
We need to get on this now before and that's then they become really irrational, and you can't deal with their financial issues. You can't deal with where they're going to live very easily. It's much more important to do it early, and things like deciding, do you want to take a parent in to live with you when they get the dependent living stage, or would you like have that discussion now? Because oftentimes parents say, I don't ever want to live at a nursing home, so take me in. So you have to have these discussions early.
And if you want to live in a nursing home,
yes,
you better get on the list, because there seem to be lists everywhere. I don't know if society is getting ready for reboomers, because
well, you can't get on the list until you reach the dependent living stage, and then you have to wait. So everybody's got to be prepared, and the financial issues that come along with that.
Well, here's the biggest point, and this is what we really want to spend our time on today. You say, don't wait till your parents can no longer pay their bills or run out of money to plan for the costs involved in elder care. How do we begin to get these ducks in a row, Shirley?
Okay, we need to start with this family discussion in the 60s, when they're in the 60s or 70s, and the goal is to develop a plan, a financial plan for these declining years, so that there's enough money for care, accommodations, and for all the other elder care costs that will be inevitably necessary.
Now, you say this get-together should involve all the siblings.
Absolutely, because otherwise there's quarrels that happen. Because we need to know what finances they have in place. We need to know, do they have a will? Parents have a will, up-to-date will in place. And we need to know, have they identified and named a substitute decision maker for property? And that's a legal document called a continuing or enduring power of attorney that they put together with a lawyer. And they have to name likely someone that they trust, likely a family member who will be their substitute decision maker. They need to identify up front, and the family needs to know who that person's going to be.
And this isn't just a little friendly chat. You have to make it legal.
You have to make it legal.
And these substitute decision makers,
yes,
and I say plural,
yes, it
because
could be
it
more
can
than
be
one.
different people for different areas.
Yes, one for care and one for property. Yes, and they have to be in place. Otherwise, the hospitals don't know who to turn to, and nursing homes don't know who to turn to when you need someone to speak for, to make decisions on your behalf. And the same in the financial. Banks won't deal with you unless you have been named. You have been named the substitute decision maker.
What if your parents have run out of money?
Well, very important question. You need to know they haven't totally run out of money. That's the good news. They still will be getting old age security, average benefit just over $6,000 a year. They may have a Canada pension plan, over $6,000 a year. And if they are not financially very well off, they can apply for a guaranteed income supplement. And that's around $6,000 a year, so that's $18,000 a year, roughly, that is available to spend on their elder care. And a nursing home costs basic accommodation about $22,000 a year, so it would cover most of that. But the other good news is no one is turned away in Canada if you have a at the dependent living stage, if you have a valid provincial health card, from getting a nursing home placement if you don't have the financial means.
Wow, I did not know that.
So
you're not going to end up on the street.
No. Now you may have to wait a while to get in because we have long lineups, but if you have an emergency and you become a higher priority to get in, if you're in the hospital setting,
you will be placed.
You will get in faster than waiting longer. You'll wait longer if you're living with family member. But
you don't get the choice of where. And if being near family is important, that's one of the benefits.
Well, you do get a choice. You get to choose one of, in Ontario, at least one of 5 choices. You put on, families need to go out and visit nursing homes. I have a list of a touring guide in there for nursing homes, and you can choose which ones you like best. I have a whole list of what you should look for to find a good one. But you need to know how much it costs.
This is so practical, and I want to show this capital depletion forecast.
Yes.
Wow, that sounds intimidating, but it's actually a very helpful tool. And you'll see the graphic here. Now tell us how this works. You can go to Wiley Canada website. Yes. You can download this free. And I know that just looks like a whole lot of little letters and numbers, but this is a huge tool.
Yes. Well, first of all, capital means your investments, your bank account cash, your equity in your home that could be sold to provide income with the investment money to pay for elder care costs. So if someone owns a home, then you're not without money, because it could, if it's sold, or it could be a reverse mortgage. That could also be applied. So we track capital over a period of time, say 10 years.
You got 10 years here.
I have 10 years there, and the length of time depends on how long you think an elder will last, and if examples, depends on what diseases they have, what chronic diseases. If it's Alzheimer's, the average is 8 to 12 years, so you'd want to plan for that amount. So that's the term, and then you track their income. As you start with their capital, say $400,000. In capital, the equity and investments, and then you add income, and then you have to take off taxes. And my charts do that automatically. Mm-hmm. And then you put in your expenses. You have to identify what the costs are going to be, whether it's retirement residence, assisted living, or nursing home, or whether they're living at home with family but getting extra care and help. So you have to delete from this Excel file the starting position. If yours is $300,000 rather than $400,000 at the start, you delete the 400, put in the 300, and the Excel file will spit it out at the other end at 10 years and tell you how long the money will last.
That's so amazing. And just so our viewers know, your dear mom passed away in 2009.
Yes.
You went through all the stages, selling her house, a retirement residence, and then she broke her hip and it was a nursing home.
Yes.
But here's the amazing thing, and you'll delight in this in reading the book. This isn't just a how-to book, it's a personal journey.
Yes.
You had a special time with the team that you built. You make the point you weren't a solo firefighter,
No.
and we shouldn't be in this. And to the extent that you kept in touch with that core group that were part of your mom's journey, it's a kind of bittersweet thing, really.
Yes, yes. We stayed very connected after she died, and one of them I had up at the cottage this summer. We became family.
Shirley, well, I'm looking at a Zoomer magazine article by you, Making Mom's Money Last. That was April 2014. You speak to seniors and lawyers and adult caregivers.
Yeah.
You had a very successful health expo. God has taken your personal journey and made it a blessing on so many levels.
It's been quite a journey.
I want to say, too, that if we don't look at the warning signs, you are a warning sign that we need to get involved. We're hearing all the reasons why. But, you know, everything from parents overspending, missing bills, and for a dear neighbor of mine from childhood, wow, what a scam. He ended up buying a car for the woman who cleaned his house, signing his will over to her. When the children found out, he was thrown in a nursing home, and it was just so horrible. It was so sad. We need to be attentive.
We need to be attentive, and it happens a lot that families, it's hard to have these conversations, and so when they don't go well the first time, people give up and they just go on their merry way. And I would really encourage people to not give up, to take a leadership role and keep trying and nudging parents in the right direction that's in their best interest.
I'm so thankful that you have clearly felt called to help seniors and help those of us who are dealing with them.
Yeah, it's been a connection to God. I feel the need to do this.
Shirley Roberts, thank you so much, and Lord, give Doris a hug. She's been a huge blessing.